Yes, guys, episode 4. Welcome back to the Crunch podcast. And today I have my first ever guests. You guys know who they are, winners of Britain's Got Talent, the champions. Welcome, Twist and Pulse, guys. Hey! How's it going, guys?
Good, thanks, good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem at all. Also, first podcast that I'm filming. So, yeah, a bit of content for everyone. Yeah, peace out, hello. Today we're going to be talking about a winner's mindset, going through everything from the start of your journey to where you are now. Obviously, we know you met in college and all things like that, but for people that don't know you, just introduce yourselves quickly, individually.
Yes, so I'm Ashley, I'm Twist and Pulse.
I'm Glenn, so obviously it makes me the pulse.
So, Twist and Pulse. We'll start it off because I think a lot of people obviously know you just from Britain's Got Talent and a few other things that you've done. But I think talking about winner's mindset, the thing that I found really intriguing to start the podcast off was that it wasn't actually Twist and Pulse that you started off with when you first went on to Britain's Got Talent. Am I right in saying you actually both tried 3 times before?
Yeah.
The people need to hear more about that. That's crazy. Take me back to like your first times, both of you. What happened there?
Sweet. So my time as well. So it's Ashley Twist speaking, just so you understand whose story it is. So the very first time, I actually auditioned with one of my other good friends called Manny, which obviously you know.
Shout out Manny.
Shout out to Manny. So I auditioned with him as a duo, which is mad. But the name of our duo was actually Twist and Littlebit. So Manny's nickname was Littlebit, and so my name hadn't changed. Like I was still Twist then.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that it was called Twist and Littlebit, which sounds so different now. Because everyone knows Twist and Pulse. So
yeah.
But it's so weird. I've still got the letter. So recently, when I moved house and I had to sort out my loft, I come across loads of letters, and I've actually got a letter from BGT saying that we're so sorry, but Twist and Littlebit haven't made it through this time.
No way.
But I still kept the letter just because it was a part of the journey, innit?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, that was my first year, and that was the year. I'm trying to think what year that was in terms of who won. Yeah.
Oh, the year Jules Sampson. So Dance actually won as well.
So that year Jules Sampson won, and obviously, so me and Manny didn't even get past the producer stage.
So you didn't even get to the judges?
No, we didn't get to the TV stage. So we're like, okay, fair enough. Like, no worries, that's fine. And then the next year come about, and me and Manny were obviously a part of a dance group from my hometown in Thamesmead called Mystical, which obviously you know a lot about. He was in the younger group. So we auditioned with them for the next year, and yeah, we didn't get through the producer stage again.
So again, you didn't get to the judges.
We still didn't see Simon Cowell in the flesh.
So let me get this right. You auditioned twice.
Yeah.
Once as a duo, Twist and Littlebit.
Yeah.
Then with Mystical.
Yeah.
Both times you got rejected.
Yeah.
Both times you didn't make it on the telly.
Yeah.
And then the third time is obviously where you was with Glenn, right?
Yeah. So the third year.
Okay, before that, did you try first though, before we go to the Twist and Pulse?
And then
So what did you do before? Because that was your side before you got to actually the Twist and Pulse stage. What about you, Glenn?
Sorry, and just to add, the Twist and Littlebit stage, I didn't even know Glenn. How mad is that? I didn't even know.
That is crazy.
I didn't even know he existed. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. That's mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I did the first time as a solo. So
I did it on your own?
I made my own mix. I made my own costume, rolled up, queued with my mum. Spent the whole day there. I did the producer round, and
What was your name?
I don't even know.
If it was Pulse,
I think it was.
Was it still Pulse? Oh, that's amazing.
It was Pulse because I had my shirt with my name on the back.
Love that.
And I did that, and then they even was like, "Oh, do you sing?" And I was like, yeah, a little bit, I guess. And there's, "Oh, do you mind coming back and singing?" And I went down.
I don't even think I know this.
You don't know?
I don't know.
I'm sure you do. And I went, and I was like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, can you come back later and sing? And I went down the hall and I practiced a song.
So,
Usher, bedtime.
Bang,
That's a banger.
Oh,
Yeah. I practiced it for like half an hour or an hour or something, and then I went back and sung. And this guy just sitting there with the little stereo, and then I just walked out and he was like, oh, well done, it was great. I left. And yeah, I didn't get through. And obviously that year George Sampson won.
Oh, so it's the same year?
Yeah.
And then after that, obviously George Sampson went on to like bring out like 2 songs like pretty much straight after him. So they obviously had an idea of something that would be
Okay.
a brand, like a young guy that can dance and sing and all that sort of stuff. So they obviously had that in mind. And then the next year I competed with my group at the time, Peridot. I've been with them 5 years. And we got through the producers round, got to the judges round, and we got 3 yeses.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they just...
So basically you did better than Ashley at this point.
Basically,
so
yeah.
far.
So, basically, yeah. And it was amazing, like the response was epic. I remember being so hyped on it. And yeah, they kind of just said, we're not taking you through kind of to the next bit. And yeah, 3rd year came around and I remember checking around with like Peridot, because I was still with them at times, saying, oh, are you guys going to do it again? They're like, nah, it's not up. We did it last time, it didn't happen. So
they kind of gave up.
Yeah, we had kind of met already and we'd been talking about it. So our journey kind of begun from that. And
did it not knock you at all, both of you, knowing that you both tried 2 times prior, and I guess you had a bit more success with it, Glenn, but it didn't really work out?
Yeah.
So the thing I'm interested in, I think a lot of people will be interested in, is, like you said with some of the guys in your group, what made you then go, do you know what, we've tried twice, what's the point? Like, what changes that?
I think it's, the hardest thing is that I don't think you understand it at the time. Like when we was doing it, I didn't have a logical mindset of like, I'm doing this again because I will not be defeated by the no's. Like I didn't really have that.
Okay.
We were just the kind of people that didn't let anything stop us, I guess. We were already those 2 people. So whereas like Peridot did end up doing it that year, but at the time they'd obviously already kind of thought, oh, this isn't for us again. I wanted to find a new venture. So their mindset wasn't defeat, it was that's not for us, so let's find what is for us. Whereas deep down, I think we knew it was for us, it just wasn't our time.
Okay.
And I think it was about figuring out what it was that was the right thing. Like we was obviously going down the right path, but just not in the right way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it just found us obviously, took us time to discover what the right way was, I guess. And it took the kind of mistakes for us to realize, okay, that doesn't work, maybe this works. And
okay. The persistence really, just
Yeah.
You knew what you had individually, and again eventually as a duo worked, but you knew deep down that what you did as Pulse worked.
Yeah.
You knew what you did as Twist worked.
Yeah.
But you're just trying to find what made that blossom into, I guess, what happened afterwards, right?
Yeah, and I think it's quite like what people get confused with, I feel like, is people think persistence is like going at the same thing and just trying to come up with what that person wants. So instead of like, I could have just went away and started like, oh, maybe they need like a flamenco fusion with a, and I need to be a plumber to do it, and then they do it, and then they end up winning and doing it, and then realizing that isn't what, like, yeah, they got the goal, but the goal is now not what you're about. Like, it's making so being persistent, but also not just changing and jeopardizing kind of your authenticity as like what you do, and changing to be something completely different just because Britain's Got Talent are looking for that kind of thing. Because it's very easy to see George Sampson on one year and then the next year go and be George Sampson again, but it wasn't about that.
That's not
It was just about like, we love this again, this felt good and exciting, so maybe this is something we want to be successful in, so let's try that, rather than, oh, maybe we need to try a duo, and maybe we need to, we never had that kind of thought pattern.
So it was more natural with it happening. What about for you? Did you feel knocked at all? Like when you come off two knockbacks we didn't even get on TV, right?
Yeah, I feel like I did. I feel like I did feel a little bit disheartened, I guess, because we got 2 no's, like not even to get onto the TV stage. So it's a little bit like, what's the point in doing it for the 3rd time? Because the same thing's going to happen. But as Glenn just mentioned, there was something about like the duo thing, like with Twist and Pulse, that felt like it felt right to do it. And going back, to what Glenn was saying, obviously Peridot decided not to do it. And at the time, I joined Peridot as well, so we were like, oh, if they're not doing it, that's fine. But I remember with Mystical, they were still a little bit undecided if they were going to do it, because obviously the year before we'd done it as a crew, and we got 3 no's, and we didn't get past the producer stage. So they were a bit disheartened, and we were disheartened as a group. So that's why it felt right for us to do it as a duo, because it just felt like, well, we've both tried in our groups, and Glenn even got that one step further of getting the 3 yeses in Hammersmith Apollo, and it was amazing. Like I said, it was buzzing and blah, 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 but they still didn't put them through. So I think a duo for us was different, but the energy, I just remember exactly how it feels now, and even newer stuff, the energy just felt right to do it as a duo this time.
Is it like when you hear producers talk about making music, and I think there's one I heard recently about when Dr. Dre found Eminem, and he said there was just something about the way he worked and the way Eminem worked, and you felt the energy and it just clicked. Is that the kind of chemistry you felt when you guys started doing your stuff together and you went on the show? It just kind of went, okay, this is right.
And again, I don't think it was conscious of us. It wasn't we went in the room and rehearsals going, oh my god, this is really good. It was everyone else felt that it was something. We didn't know that. We were just dancing because it was what we were doing. It was
because you loved it.
But it's things like the colours, the red, white, and blue. We didn't sit there with colour palettes and coming out with a costume. We just wore opposite colours. Sometimes pink and yellow, sometimes black and white. Sometimes red and blue. We just chose to wear red and blue. We got there on the day and I was like, oh, I love how you got the Union Jack, the flag, England, British colours.
So it almost happened a little bit by accident. It's just because of the energy you guys brought, that passion from the first time you went on to now, and as you said, it's persistent and consistent. It just evolved into what happened on the show.
This is where I'm quite a big believer in what's meant to be, because even just Twist, Pulse, they're both 5 letters. They're both one syllable.
They're both.
It could have been Twist and Bobby. I just could have been my name, Twist and Frank.
No, I really love that though.
Dynamite Explosion. It could have been the most random of names, but they did work together. And again, we never sat down and chose a name for our act.
You had that before from the first time you both auditioned.
It was just a name, and someone said, "Oh, you guys are on stage. What's your act name?" And we remember going, "Oh, we don't have one. Don't worry, just give me a name, Twist Pulse." Next up is Twist and Pulse. And it sounds. Whereas it could have been, what's your name, Twist? What's your name? Oh, Benji. Oh, next up is Twist and Benji.
It just don't have that same,
But again, was unconscious.
Did you say Benji?
I don't know. I was trying to think. It could have been a really
Shout out to Benji though.
Shout out to Benji.
But it could have been something completely different. It could have done well, but it could have always had that little thing of, oh, I need to change your neck. But we never came across that because it was just right. And it was right at the right time. And all we cared about was dance and the music and making the best performance that we could do. We didn't like I said, we didn't ever have a business meeting about the name or the costumes or the style. It just happened.
And you know what as well, it's saying about the whole name thing, because you see these groups on X Factor and they get put together and they think of their name, but they have to change their name because it's not quite right. And going back to everything that Glenn was just saying, everything happened naturally. We didn't ever plan anything. Obviously we rehearsed and we knew what we were doing. But everything just happened without any thought, really. Just it makes sense to do this, right? And we just done it.
That's special though. That doesn't always come along. I say, because I feel like it can be so people aim to please what they think needs to be done, as opposed to just doing what feels right, and it naturally will take its course.
But this is where you're talking about the mindset of where was your head at and stuff, but that's the difference, because mindset isn't always sitting down and thinking about your mindset and planning something. Sometimes your mindset is just do what you love, because when you're in the mindset of loving something, the right things fall into place.
100%. I think that's really important to listen to anyone watching this, either on video or on Spotify, iTunes, whatever, is that you don't have to necessarily plan everything, right? It's a passion that you guys have, and whether it's dance and whatever career you're in, you need to make sure that you're passionate about it. And as long as you're consistent doing what you're doing and you don't even necessarily plan everything out, that passion will guide you and attract the things that you need to yourself.
And that's the strongest mindset, because I always I've got a few friends that are kind of really into kind of motivational stuff and watching the videos and stuff, but their mindset is getting motivated, but then they spend all their time watching motivational videos and they haven't actually, like, if they're writing script, they want to be a film writer, and I'm like, have you written any scripts? No, but like, I watched this, like, I did this course just now, I watched this video of like Tony Robbins' hour thing, and I feel pumped. And it's like, then it's a week later, but they've just watched more motivational. So their mindset's right about being, that's what they want to do, and they want to be pumped.
They're at the start line, but they're not running.
But then,
That's
so they're just still stretching.
And you're never going to get to the finish line, whatever you see that is, if you're not moving, right?
Yeah, but sometimes you have to run the race, and then afterwards someone come up to you and be like, oh, that was really cool, and then they take you, and that's how the thing grows.
So get moving.
Yeah.
Have action. Don't just think about what you're going to do. Act on it. Yeah. And I think that's a really good quote I heard recently about. It's something like, don't aim to be perfect, just aim to start.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that's kind of what you guys did. And I think, you know, it's quite obvious what happened from there. Not to numb it down too much, but a lot of people know this. So you went through as a duo, you got your 3 S's.
Yeah.
You got through to the live shows in the semi-finals. Did you win that show?
No, we come second.
No, as in...
the semi-final.
The semi-final.
The semi-final, we got a lovely lady called Jamie Cutler, who's actually passed away now, rest in peace, but she won that semi-final.
And then you got the vote afterwards, which then took you to the finals.
Yeah.
And then you came second to Spellbound, which was a acrobatics gymnastics group, right?
Yeah.
My first question is, and by the way, that's a fantastic achievement in itself.
Thank you.
And I was there supporting the whole way, of course. Did you think you was going to win?
No, not 1%.
See, I find that so interesting.
We was in the audience watching the tech run of Spellbound, and we said they're going to win.
We see Edwards, one of the members, get flown over to judges.
And then flying,
there's a human flying in the TV studio, and you think that we can win.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that you may disagree with. Do you think the fact that you already thought you wasn't going to win contributed to the fact that you didn't win? As in, like, because you didn't fully believe in yourself that you'd win, the performance, even though it was banging, because I saw it live, do you think that plays a part or not?
The belief was different, I think, because it wasn't that we didn't believe we wouldn't win, it is that we believed that we'd already done enough, if that makes sense. So all it felt like was a showcase. Which will be interesting, I think, later when we talk about kind of what's happening now.
Yeah.
Remember what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
But at the time, we already felt like we had won. We were on the final of Talent, and we were going on tour because it was the top 10.
Okay, so
we were done. We were just like, this is the bank.
And speaking about like the energy and how we felt from the semis to the final, the semis, we were competing.
Yeah.
Like we were literally, like our mindset was, we are getting through this semi-final, so we make the final, we make the top 10, we go on the arena tour, and we've achieved what we set out to achieve.
Yeah, so for you guys that aren't aware, when Aisling did the show the first time, if you got into the final 10 it was, right? You got onto the Britain's Got Talent tour, and that means you, even if you didn't win, you got to tour all around the country, got paid, that was your little group.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a big achievement already financially, but also you got to the final and you're touring already.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just saying, for you guys, you kind of already won.
Yeah.
Like,
plus we never had the feeling when we didn't win, like there was never a dwelling of we didn't, like, you know, you could be really down, we were so buzzing about coming second, like it was ridiculous.
I literally remember, so Kieran Gaffney, who was a drummer, he came third.
Yeah.
So I can't remember exactly of the ordering, because they obviously line up all the 10 finalists, and back then Ant & Dec would just announce the top 3, and I think they announced Spellbound first. So they announced Spellbound first, then they announced Kieran Gaffney, and then they announced us. So we're standing there as a 3. And we're already thinking, without even discussing, because we're live on TV, we come third. We're top 3. We literally come top 3. This is amazing. Then they announced.
So you were already happy, even if you was top 3.
I'm happy. Like if I could do a backtrack, I would have done 10. Do you know what I mean? Like,
over the moon.
And then they were like, "Oh, 3rd place, Kieran Gaffney," and then
we were like,
"Oh my God, we come
second." And you know what? I feel like I didn't even think that we won once.
I did. I definitely thought, oh my god, we might actually win. And then they called their name, but then I didn't feel like.
But you wasn't disheartened by
At
that.
all. I was
Okay.
so happy. Second, think of how many people you see on TV.
It's millions,
queuing
right? Millions
in
of
those
people
queues,
queue.
in them long queues.
Because I think that's the difference when you're talking about winner's mindset. I want to take it back to your title for you, but we had one. So we still had a winner's mindset.
Because you set your own aim,
Yeah.
which was compared to what you did before, not even getting to say judges, to then go live shows,
Let's change our lives.
finals, top 3,
Yeah.
tour. In comparison to those things, it was a win.
Yeah.
It wasn't a loss.
Yeah.
And I think, as you said, and we'll get to it, it's a very interesting concept for you guys now that they, Ashley and Glenn went back on to be GT champions, but we'll get into that and we'll see how your mindset changed from then to now, which I think is interesting.
100%.
Oh, there we go, swipe it across. So, I want to go into now, after you came second, obviously you was elated, you was very successful. I remember you guys were doing shows all the time. I want to know if you've got any like funny or like embarrassing stories like that's happened, because obviously you
It's gonna be a
performed
long
all
podcast.
over the world. I just think, because I know you guys so well, it's always a laugh and a joke, as you can see already. But there must be some fun things that may have happened that people don't know about, that happened on tour or something like that. That'd be really cool to know.
Yeah, we've got hundreds of stories. We've had some where it's more so that the venues or the places that we go to aren't quite what we think they are. So we've done one, I think it was Liverpool, and it was a club, and they showed us kind of our performance area, and it was basically the windowsill of the club. When I say windowsill,
What do you mean?
as in the size of a windowsill. So I'm trying to think, what's that? A minimum, like 32, not even a ruler and a half.
Yeah, probably 2 rulers at the absolute.
Did you say 2 rulers?
Yeah,
2
the
rulers.
school rulers, the 30 centimetre school ruler from secondary school, 2 of them.
And then not only that, they're like, you're up there, okay, that's already mad. On top of that, there was a column in between, so we had to stand on either side. So we basically just dancing by ourselves. And then on top of that, it was obviously covered in like alcohol and stuff, and we were wearing all white.
Oh,
We obviously did like the call on me, we laid on our side, did the call on me, got up, and one side of us was completely black. Completely black.
Oh no!
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest experience.
That was mad. I'm trying to think of some others. We've got so many.
There was one where we went to do someone's birthday party, and we got dressed and everything. We got in the car, went into like a back room. They said, "All right, it's in the other room. We're going to play the music, so that
Because it was a surprise,
it's
wasn't
just
it?
a surprise. So we're just going to press play and then shout at you. You're going to run in, perform.
Yeah.
We're obviously imagining, like a bit of a hall, circle tables, people sat around the tables for the birthday."
Yeah.
Birthday girl in there kind of thing. It's a big building, really big building, and they press play and the guys are like, "Quick, go in." We open the door, just run in, and it was basically like someone's front room, and they were stood
Like
about a metre in front of
a
us.
metre, like-
5 girls, a photographer, and like the dad.
Like, you wouldn't be able to do that now because it needs to be 2 metres.
Yep, and then it was just our music playing on a tiny little stereo in the corner.
Oh my
And they were standing like this distance apart between us, and we had to do our full-on twist and pulse routine.
Your
And
face. You're so embarrassed even
But
now.
the thing is, if you'd gone to a gig, and usually you go in and check the stage, and then we have like, but obviously we didn't have, and we couldn't talk about it because the music was already playing, so we were just dancing both in our heads going, "Oh my god, what are we?"
Thinking about that now, I can't believe we didn't check the space.
Yeah, it was a surprise.
And we didn't have anyone else. Like, sometimes we've had a tour manager, so he's gone in and
We
checked
did
the
have a
space.
tour manager.
No, not at that gig.
We did.
We didn't. There's no way Dean or
I think
Andy
we
or
had
whoever
Dean
it was.
100%.
I remember us waiting in the waiting room. It was like a little fire exit room. We literally got out our car, come through the back door because it was a surprise, standing there, and the dad kept coming out. Like, "Oh yeah." And we had about a minute on our soundtrack of intro so we could hear it.
But obviously, it's just the stereo was just behind the door.
Oh no.
Run into the room and
I love things like that though. But I think they're the kind of things, talking about being winners, like it molds you because you're more adaptive to do anything anywhere, right? So whether you've got
Yeah.
a meter apart in front of 5 girls and their dad,
Yeah.
or you've got a windowsill, or big stage, you just do what you need to do, right?
Let me just say that those surprise birthday one and even some club PAs and things like that, because the people are about a metre away from you, they're the most nerve-wracking ones because it's so personal.
And you can
Whereas
see people's expression.
You can see
them talking to you.
like they're looking almost at times. I think, why are you looking at me? we're there.
Not that you're on stage and you've been booked to go there or anything like
But
that.
it's because
why?
most like normal people that are not in the performing arts industry or have never performed usually think, oh, surely the O2 Arena gig was your most nerve-wracking gig because it's so big, but it's not, because you're on stage, you can't even see anyone, all the lights in your face.
And loud music and you
Yeah.
can't dance.
The personal ones where someone's looking into your soul.
And like, you know you're doing the joke and you can see all 5 people and none of them are laughing.
Oh!
Do you know what I mean? Or you do like a flip and no one goes woo or cheers afterwards because there's 5 of them. They just look at you like, so they're just watching like this.
Or we get into the, going back to the birthday party one, we get into the cheeky girls joke. Listen, me and my man are shimmying to each other. 5 girls are watching us a metre away and they're like, like there's no roar of like, that's so funny.
No, you just want to carry on.
They're almost just about smirking. We are the cheating.
For God's sake. But they're all part of the journey, right? And that's it makes things like this now funny when you can look back on it and
Yeah, we got hundreds of them stories, hundreds of them, different kind of venues and things that have happened where we've gone and just done the most maddest performances.
And you was in China, wasn't you, for a little while? How long were you in China for?
3 months in
3 months.
2013, I think that was.
Wow.
Again, different experience, completely amazing experience, but
Yeah, incredible experience. It's basically like China's version of like Got to Dance or BGT.
So you guys have done some amazing shows. I mean, you've done that. You did obviously the BGT tour. You had the Olympic torch relay. So in London 2012, the Olympic torches were obviously going around the country, and you guys were booked in every day,
Every
right?
night, yeah.
Every night to do a performance. And how many different places?
67 in the end.
67 different places.
67 consecutive days.
Consecutive dates, which
Yes.
means
Consecutive.
Yeah, just make sure you got that, guys. Consecutive. That's not a joke.
I find that quite hard to say. Consecutive.
We got there in the end.
Well done.
Yeah, nice work, guys. Good job. But you've done some amazing gigs, and obviously you've done your own tour, which we'll get onto as well, talking about the now. But from a fitness perspective, obviously that's part of what I do as Lean with Luke as well. How do you prep for, how many was it, 67 consecutive days? What kind of prep as a dancer, but also to you guys individually, would you do to prep yourself for something like that? Because that's unreal. I mean, you can train 6 days a week and have your rest day, but a performance, as I know, because I've danced as well, is very different. What do you do for that?
We always say that there's nothing really that can prepare you for it apart from doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like in terms of like relating back to gym and fitness and stuff, like I could run on the treadmill every single day for a month leading up to the 67 consecutive day tour, and I do the first performance and I'm breathing like I've never worked out before in my life.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the same thing of like when you go to the gym every day, if you do 10 press ups, at some point you can do 12 and at some point you can do 15 because you're doing the same thing. But unless you're doing the dance,
Exactly how you're doing it.
exactly how you're doing it, your body doesn't understand what it needs to do until you've done it. So once you do the dance 10 times, the 11th time is easier.
So it's
that
basically
same
like
feeling.
working, let's say your biceps, for example. If you want your biceps to grow, you do bicep curls, and because you're consistently working that muscle, it develops. In your case, it is literally, obviously those things help in push-ups, running, etc. But the bottom line is, unless you do that dance, which is say the muscle, over and over again,
Full out every time.
your body doesn't get used to it. So mainly it's just rehearsing what you do then.
Yeah, because you can obviously keeping fit is obviously good for you anyway, and there are things that are going to help if you're doing a certain lift and you need to be strong. Like obviously being strong helps, but you can't prep yourself for the dynamics of the twisting and jumping and like lifting and swinging your arms in certain way. Like it just isn't a way of doing it without you doing it, and it's the muscle memory of like learning how to ride a bike or do a flip. Your body has to know what intensity you need in order to jump and pull your knees up as quick as you need to do with the rotation. It needs to know those exact mathematical inputs into your
Yeah.
body to do that. So
You
if
can't
need to
mimic
do
the
one and two
timing,
and three,
can you? Yeah. You
Like,
can't
it needs
mimic
to
that in the gym.
No.
No, you have to dance,
you have
right?
to dance to do it. Like you can tell yourself I need to breathe a lot and I can do a lot of cardio to breathe better, but it doesn't change the fact that my muscle needs to tense, relax, like in
Okay.
split seconds.
Yeah.
You understand that sort of feeling.
So did working out, in terms of dance that much, get you into any trouble in terms of injuries and things like that? Because like any sort of athlete, which I call you guys, you're dance athletes, did you come under any sort of pain or injury during any of this sort of time?
I'll leave this question to Glenn.
Well, it's quite a funny question because we laugh about it because I'm always got some sort of injury.
But people probably don't know that though, right?
Yeah,
Because I think you do still look so crisp and perfected.
That's the mad thing, that
If you knew what I was going through and some of the
Yeah.
performances people have seen, they would have like it's crazy. It's
I feel
you
like
get
that's
that
what's
focus.
important.
Yeah.
That's part of being a winner of whatever you're doing, even just being a winner for yourself. And I think that's why it's going to be so important to let people know this, because I think some people may just look at you and go, oh, they're young and they dance and they're fit, so it's all good. Of course they're going to be able to dance like that and keep it consistent, but that really wasn't the case.
No, and a lot of the things weren't exactly dance based. They were more things that I was doing to try and progress what we were doing, whether it was go to gymnastics. So I tore my abs doing a back tuck in gymnastics.
You tore your abs.
Tore my lower abs, yeah.
Oh,
It was the
I think
worst
I remember
thing
that.
I've ever been through in my life. I just did a back tuck. I felt it rip like bubble wrap.
Oh.
And I went to the toilet and then I passed out. And next thing I knew, I was in an ambulance and getting an MRI and stuff. And it was the worst thing ever. But then we had a gig the next Saturday in Trafalgar Square for the NFL. And
listen, when I tell you, yeah, Glenn is a madman. Like, I'll let you continue the story, but I'm just saying that the amount of times this guy has injured himself. He's not like a clumsy person, I think, and he gets injured. He's just not been fortunate with not having injuries. But he always continues to carry on, which in my eyes is like that is a true trooper. Like, he's a soldier, and as much, obviously, if it was actually hurting him that much that he couldn't do it anymore, like he was going to break his leg if he'd done a performance, he's never done anything like that. But in terms of he's managed to still perform or do the gig or continue with the injury blows my mind. Like, I don't know how he feels, but obviously he tells me how he feels.
you'd be surprised how many times 2 minutes before we walked on stage on the floor and I haven't
It
moved.
doesn't make any sense.
Like, I'm not moving until the moment when they go, guys, you're up next, and then I go.
So you've obviously had quite bad injuries, as you said, something like that about your abs. I think your back as well.
Yeah, and basically because I tore my abs.
Oh, sorry, going back to that story, we went and done the Trafalgar Square gig and he done it.
Oh,
and
so
it was
you
a week
finished it?
after. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it. But the issue was then is that because my abs were torn, all the movement I was using my back to
Compensating.
compensate for the fact that my core wasn't engaging. So I was using my back muscles, which then hurt my back, and now I've got basically a chronic back injury that doesn't go away. It's just every single day it hurts, and it's something that keeps coming back. And if I do long periods that could be pantomime, I've had the moments where again I go on stage, do a dance, come off and lay on the floor and cry for 10 minutes until the like 2 lines before I'm about to go on stage, and then I get up and I run on and do the next line.
So that's what I find interesting, and I also think you're a soldier for that as well, because dancing or doing anything through that sort of pain is horrible. What is it that makes you carry on? Because a lot of people, like, you could stop, right? You could cancel a gig, you could let someone else do something. Obviously you're a duo, but what sets you apart from a lot of other people to do that?
I think it's quite a few things. Like, one is just a personal thing. Like, my dad is the most competitive person on the planet. Like, if you do 10 press ups, he'll do 11. He's just that person. I saw him not last week, the week before, and as I went to say bye, he said, "How many press ups have you been doing lately?" I said, like 30. He was like, "Yeah, I can do 35." And we did, and we did press ups before we left the house to see who could do the most. That's just who we are. So I'm that person anyway. But in terms of like performing, my thing is that the people have paid for a certain show, and who am I to not give them the show that they paid for? Like, I'm not the person that will go and be like, "Oh, just take out that move and don't do the flip today," or take out that bit and just, or cut that bit. Like I just don't, because yesterday I did that for them and they got to see, and they paid the same money as the people that are sitting there now. So
Interesting.
how can I give them a different show? It's the same reason I always give 100%, because you could be tired one day, but the audience are there to see something, and you're not only representing yourself, like you're representing each other, you're representing the company, you're representing whoever you work for, and yeah, and I just think we're in a privileged position to be doing something that we love, and people pay us to do it. So, like, they're not asking me to. I got broken fingers and they're asking me to type out a Sainsbury's delivery for 12 hours. Like, I'm not like hating my life. Like, I love doing it. So
the passion helps as
yeah,
well,
just do
because
it, man.
yeah, and I think that's a really important principle to follow, whoever you are, whatever job you have in your life. Because let's take myself for example as a personal trainer. If I come in and I've had an awful day, or I'm aching or something, I still can't see my client and just sit down there like a sloth and go, yeah, 5 a.m. Like, you still need to give energy to that person, because I'm like you, I'm that product. This is what people are paying for, and you have a certain standard that you set yourself, and that doesn't slip. And I think people not only see that, but they appreciate it massively. And also, if you can perform and do things like that when you feel like injured, what are you like when you're, do you know what I mean? How good are you when things feel good? And I think that's setting a good standard.
One thing that literally you just said, and it reminds me of something that you told me before, and it's always stuck with me when we teach like workshops or anything like that. But I was training with you one time, and I remember you saying about like some personal trainers will sit down, like some personal trainers are sitting down and encouraging their client to work out, but the personal trainer's sitting down. So already that's not helping. That's like they're tired, so they're sitting down, but then you're trying to motivate someone to keep fit and healthy.
Yeah,
so
your
already
job is to do that. That's what I mean. You're representing your job. So by you giving that energy, that's what I hate. If I take a class in the gym and someone's shouting at me, like personal trainer wise shouting at me to do more, but you haven't done it. Like you doing the process. I'd rather you get down next to me and go, come on, do one more with me. Like that's
set pace, set level.
And those examples are like true examples of experience. Like exactly what Glenn just said. I told that story to our brother Oliver the other week, and I said it's about, and going back to your stuff, it's about finding something and someone that works for you. There's no point in going to a class and you've got to do 20 press-ups, but the instructor says, oh yeah, press-ups, go, and they do 2, and they stand up and they're like, come on guys, like, you can do it. But actually, it works better if I see the instructor doing the 10 press-ups, like you with your Instagram live workouts at the minute.
Yeah.
You're doing the workout, which I don't know how you do. I don't actually understand how you're doing the workout, and you're still encouraging people. Because I'm doing the workout and I can't even talk because I'm panting so much, but you're still going, come on guys, I can see you, like,
It's the same
people.
thing. It's really funny, and thank you for that. It's exactly what you said. I'm on live, people have tuned in, they want a good workout. I need to show one authoritative that I'm the pro, I'm the PT. This is why you're here.
You're the example.
I can't just stand there and go, yeah guys, it's really tough today. If you carry on doing 5, there has to be a certain standard of what you set out to people that are invested in you, you know?
Yeah, it's a hard, like, without blurring the lines into other things, but it's like I find, like, the whole point in, like, personal training is, if I see pictures of you and how you've worked on your body and stuff, then that's how I want to work. But you've got people that don't put in their own work. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look after yourself on a daily basis, so you teach people to look after themselves. You are a representation of your work.
Yes,
it's so visual, you can see it.
Yeah, and I think we're the same. We're dancing, so if we're dancing in, you know, a pantomime or a tour, and we have other dancers and other performers around us. If we're doing it half, then they're gonna expect to be okay doing half. Whereas if we're doing 150, I'd like to think that other people around us are going, oh god, like, we need to do this a bit more.
It's just that standard, right? That's a standard throughout.
It's a mindset like what we're talking about the whole time, to be like that. And injuries obviously are something that everyone at some point probably goes through, but it's your mind is so powerful that you can do stuff that your body's saying you can't do. But if you let it defeat you, then
as I always say, when the mind goes, the body follows. As soon as you believe that and you think about that more often, you can probably do a lot more in anything than you actually
I
realise.
completely basically obliterated my ankle playing football a week before we went on tour. And I didn't tell Ash because I didn't know what to do, and I showed up to his house for rehearsals and I couldn't walk. And we were like, what are we going to do? And I didn't want to tell the promoter, and Ash was just looking at me like I was nuts.
One leg performance.
My whole leg was purple, and I didn't get nothing done. I didn't go to physio, I didn't go to hospital, I didn't do nothing. I literally went to the pharmacy, I bought the strongest ankle straps I could buy. I wore 2 of them. I undid my laces, basically had no laces on my fingers. My foot was so swollen it was filled up my trainer. And then when we got there, I walked with the promoters, so they didn't know I was hobbling along. And then I did every single show and came off stage and cried basically after each show. And I had the trainer undone the whole time, and we just worked it. We just made it happen.
We're not saying that's the best thing to do, guys.
No.
But everyone's got their own, pain threshold and ways they deal with things. Obviously, Glenn, as a professional, someone who's done this for a long while, can do this, and also he's a certain type of person. Maybe not everyone's like yourself.
Yeah.
But that's what it's about. And I think it's, as you said, that's what's important to let people know, is that it hasn't been an easy sailing ship for you the whole time. You've got to push through it.
It's
So
about being smart about it. I didn't just kind of go and it don't matter, and just I've done every precaution possible for me to look after it as best I can. When I came off, I was looking after it. I did everything the smart way and did everything that I knew. I knew if I got to a point that I couldn't do something, that I would have changed it, and we did adapt the routine and things like that in order. I didn't just go out and just jump around.
of course. It's smart with it.
Did it the right way, and I think that's your own body. And I think Ash is very well. When I say I can do it, it means I can do it. I won't say it otherwise. I don't say it to be hard or to just be the strong.
It's not ego.
I just know I can do it. So
So you guys did a lot of shows, some injured, some uninjured. And from when you came second on Britain's Got Talent to when you did Britain's Got Talent, the Champions, what was the time in between those 2 periods?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get back to that number. So I think people know this as well. You guys went back onto Britain's Got Talent, the Champions, which is where you compete against other people all around the world, which have won and also maybe come second, third, top 3, things like that. And you won.
Yeah, we did.
You bloody won. Again, I was there. I lost my voice for about 3 days because I was shouting so much. It was absolutely amazing. The energy there was fantastic. So I want to touch on, because we're talking about winning, you said in previous times on Britain's Got Talent, you didn't think you was going to win and you was a bit happy, you top 3, you toured. What changed 9 years later with your mindset for this one? Did you think you was going to win? How did you feel? What would you have felt if you didn't win? Talk to me about that.
It was a totally different experience altogether, because we were 9 years strong. We knew everything about our brand, about our technique, performances, our music. We had everything, every category you could think of, we had not mastered, but we got to a point of mastery for ourselves, of our craft, of what we knew. And one thing that we knew more than I guess everyone that's probably competing is that we had grown up competing. We've been in street dance groups, we've been in that, and we've done competitions pretty much every weekend since we were 16 or so, doing competitions. So we had that kind of mindset and that kind of fire already. So as soon as we knew we were going back to a competition, we handled the Champions very much like a competition, rather than a showcase or.
No. I was about to say, and as professionals, like Glenn said, we've been doing it for 9 years, so we knew our brand so well, and knew each other as people so well, life experience of 9 years. Think how much you learn in 9 years. We spent so much time together, so we knew each other inside out, which is always going to help what you see on stage. And we just knew what we wanted.
Yeah.
We knew exactly what we wanted our dance to look like. We knew what music to use. We knew what formula we had to use. We just knew everything. There wasn't a part of us that was a bit unsure about this. even down to the costume. We found out about doing champions, say in March, and it wasn't until July. We started on our costumes in March.
We had our costumes, we made them, then the costume department were like, guys, you got some ideas? And we were like, yeah,
We've done it.
we've done it.
But everything, like the detail to the costume was insane. Like everything that we did, like we've done it at 110% energy, everything. Like
We knew everything, but we didn't know we were going to win. We knew we could win.
So this time the difference was,
We were in it to win it.
yeah,
Whereas
you
the
was there
first
to
time, we wasn't in it to win it. I remember even saying early doors in 2010, first round of BGT, we were like, do you know what, it'd be amazing if we got 3 yeses from the judges to get through the audition
Yeah.
and then become
So you
second.
kind of knew what you expected of yourself as well, right?
Yeah.
And also, I guess, from what we spoke about during the podcast, you've done so many amazing things in so many amazing places. It'd almost sell you short to then go, oh yeah, and then we didn't win, or we came second again. It was almost like, right, we've got to level up now.
We were at the highest caliber of our career that we could have been at. Like, there was nothing more we could have done in the 9 years. We didn't go, Jack, we should have spent 5 years doing that. Like, we had been doing this. And I think, without skipping too far ahead, I think the difference between us and a lot of the acts there was that people got the call and they used the opportunity to showcase where they were at. So if they had a new song out, they were showcasing their new song. Rather than going, how do I beat everyone else in this competition? We created a dance to beat the competition. We didn't go, oh, what's our favourite dance we've done in the last 9 years? Oh, that one was quite good, should we do that one? We literally primed our music and routine for that day that we performed to that audience to beat the people we were against. Whereas other people said, we should do our latest song from the album, or should we do the charity single we did last year? Or, let's do our latest magic act that we did this. Like, we catered it to the specific show that we were doing,
And it was the opportunity, like that opportunity was so big. I don't actually understand someone's mindset that would be like, oh, I'm just going to go on and do
a dance we did
we did in 2015, or I'm going to perform a song on my album that I quite liked, like unreleased track, but I really like it, and hopefully a few people enjoy it. Like, I don't understand that mindset of the opportunity that big. There was only one way for us, that we had to fully go in, like just kill it.
I'll tell you what, one thing that probably helped with that though, and you guys will probably agree with me, is that throughout that 9 years though, that was your job full time.
Yeah.
Everything you did was twist and pulse. You leveled up, you did new things, you pushed your limits, you pushed each other, you evolved what you did. It might be safe to say that people within 9 years, or even probably less time than that when they went on the show for BGT the Champions, didn't have that same consistency and persistence and work ethic.
Yeah.
Therefore, when you got to that stage, there was no other option than to give it your best. Whereas for someone who's just sort of been, plodding along, doing bits and bobs here and there, their level hasn't grown much. Whereas I guess for you guys, it's just gone up. So that 9 years was fundamental to you getting where you are, right? You couldn't have done it without being on it for 9 years. But that's a long time. Like, if you tell me now, Luke, you're doing really well as a trainer right now, your podcast is great, and in 9 years, if you keep doing it, it's going to be number one everywhere.
Yeah.
In 9 years, we will be on your podcast again when it's the number one podcast in the world.
Of course.
If you do it for 9
Yes,
years.
as soon as I'm number one, you'll be back on.
Yeah.
But do you know, that sounds to me, or anyone listening to this or watching, 9 years sounds like a long time to keep that up.
Yeah.
And I think for me personally, and what I commend about you both, as I know you both very, very well, is that that's what you've got to keep to be successful. It doesn't matter how long it takes, it's about, as you said, keeping that energy and consistency to move yourself and open the doors to opportunity, so when they present themselves, you're ready.
Yeah, consistency I think is the biggest word out of everything. Obviously like passion and all that stuff, but consistency, because it doesn't matter. I could tell you I love podcasts more than anyone in the world, but unless I'm consistent with making them, then it means nothing, because no one will ever know. The consistency of like making videos or going out performing or making up new dances, because we could have done the same dances for 10 years if we were getting bookings.
I guess that's what
chose
helps
to be consistent with new things, and you always add things, I think, to your kind of like your artillery of skills, and the more of those that you keep up, then the more you have to show. And consistency means that it develops. It's the same as like, if you want to use the kind of like analogy of like, you know, doing like cooking or something like that, like if you season something and you leave it for longer, the longer you leave it, it actually sets in and becomes part of that person. And I think the more you shoot videos, now if we shoot a video, it's like, it's the easiest thing. We know how to set it up, we know how to put the camera, we know the angles, we've made all the mistakes, we trial and error 18 times. Like, problem is people do the first one and look at it and think, oh, that's not very good. Or they do it, forget about it, look back at it in 3 months and go, oh, I didn't like that. But it's okay, because in 10 years, that old one is an old one, it doesn't matter, because you've done the new one and the new one looks banging.
I think that also led to where you guys went next, because you won BGT, the champions, so you leveled up, massive amount of exposure. You did Ant and Deck Saturday Night Takeaway, which is amazing. But the biggest thing that came from that was the Twist and Pulse live tour.
Yes.
10 years cup.
Tell me how that felt to run your own tour. Obviously, you was amazed to do the Britain's Got Talent tour 9 years ago, and then to 9 years later win the show and have your own tour. How did that feel?
It was amazing. It was so amazing that, going back to the 9 years thing, we never put on our own tour in 9 years.
It's crazy.
We've done a lot of other things, but we never ever put on our own tour. So for us to win something like the Champions and then have the exposure that show did, and we won it, we knew we had to go on tour. And that was the perfect time, because there's not going to be another time that is as good as that time, because we won it, so we had to sell tickets and go on tour. But we can never ever work out what our tour would be. A 2-man dance show, we researched 2-man dance tours. We've never found a 2-man dance tour, because I feel like you have to be crazy to do it, which we consider ourselves in the best way.
As we've heard it earlier, you guys are.
So for us to do that, it's always been a bucket list moment for us, and everyone has those goals and aims and things like that, and that's always been one of our ones, but we didn't know how to do it, and we always come up with versions where we had to add another act in or more dancers, which we still want to do one day, but we knew we had to do Twist and Pulse live on stage, and we were going to tour. It was just about figuring out the idea and how we could do it. But the fact, even the way you just introed that question by saying you've had your own tour and dates were sold out, it still blows my mind that people pay money to come and see us.
After all that time.
It's mad.
Yeah.
But this is what's mad, is that we have such a good competitive mindset, but our mindset is not great when it comes to realizing that people
That's the thing.
want to come and see us or do something. So like we're always
It's quite endearing though, right? It's not that egotistical, we mind, of course people are going to come. Do you know what I mean? It's nice, I think.
But it's the kind of mentality that makes us take our time and make sure that we're doing the right thing, because we are always like, oh, is that actually going to be okay? And it's probably quite bad on us, because sometimes we should just dive in the deep end and jump in and just do stuff, but sometimes we have to kind of like worry. Whereas if you said, oh, there's a thing next week is for this, and you're up against these guys, we've got sweet sick. It's like, it's second nature to us, and we know exactly how to react, I guess. But as soon as it's like the other thing and people coming to us, it's like a different feeling for us, because we're still kind of 2 guys that just make up dances.
That's amazing. When you look at it like that though, right? That 2 guys that just make dances. Just have done what you've done.
Fun fact, our first ever show in 2009, when we wasn't even Twist and Pulse, we were just Ash and Glenn from the Brit School, we performed at our end of year college show, which was at the Shaw Theatre in London.
I was there.
You come to that one as well?
I did, yeah.
So that was 2009, and then our tour that we just finished in Feb 2020, our London date was at the Shaw Theatre
10 years later.
And I was just like, I'm done.
See, that's what comes back to with fate, right? It's meant to be.
And we didn't even say to the promoter, guys, our London date needs to be at the Shaw Theatre, because 10 years, fate and destiny, that's the way we're going.
They sent
us the venue. Oh, guys, we just found this venue, what do you think? Book it! Book the venue!
I love how things like that fall into place.
Yep.
But I think, going from, that's such a high, we literally trace back now. You both had 2 knockbacks, not getting on the show. You then went on together. You came second. You toured. you've done all these amazing things around the world, set a massive name for yourself. You then went back on the show, won, and did your own tour. I think as a journey, obviously that's very condensed, we spoke about it, but that's what I call winners. You guys are winners. You know, and even if you didn't win or you didn't get your own tour, the fact of where you was to where you are now, where you got to, and the consistency and all the things that have come up, that makes you a winner, right? The fact that you have won just shows you're the best, right?
Thanks.
No, no problem at all. No, I admire you guys massively. It massively inspired me and a lot of people listening and watching this. What I'm going to finish with is, both of you individually, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a winner in their field? I'll start with you, Ash, if you want.
To be a winner, yeah, I would just say you have to stick with it and believe in it. I guess I'm just talking from like my experience with Twist and Pulse. We started naturally because we had huge passion. Everything we spoke about in this podcast, we had huge passion, and it was fun. We started doing this because we were having fun. We liked the feeling of having fun. So we stuck with it, and no matter what got in the way, the 2 times we didn't get through, but we went back for the third. Why did we go back for the third? Because we loved what we were doing, and we knew it worked, and we believed in it. So yeah, going back to believing. If you believe in whatever you're doing and you think it's sick, it's gonna blow up one day. It is, and that's the only mindset that we've had, and I have personally as well. Because if you believe in something and you think something is so sick because you think it's amazing, there's so many people in this world. At least one other person is going to think exactly the same as you, if not more. So I'd say just believe in what you're doing, and stay consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, without saying the same thing, for me, to be a winner is more kind of in the, as much as what you believe in and what you're passionate about, it's kind of the preparation of like preparing for the win, because we could have got champions the next day and not been ready because we hadn't been doing the things we were doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing, if it's like, you know, filmmaking or dancing, singing, whatever it is, like make sure you know what it is that you're doing, whether it's like knowing your craft and like learning about stuff, so that when you come down to that moment that you need to go for the win, that you already have the information. Champions didn't pop up and we go, oh, we need to go take some classes, man, and like learn some new bits of style, and like, oh, should we get someone to do our costumes? Like, we'd already been doing it. So when it came, we know how to do our costumes. We did the music because we learned how to do music for ourselves, so we could do it. We had the studios, we'd already had routines, like we had so much in place and was prepared to win. If you're not prepared, then you're just undermining your own like goals. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what area of expertise it is, learn about it so that you can do it when it happens. Do you know what I mean? Just be prepared to learn your craft and know it inside out. So also so that you feel confident in it. Do you know what I mean? That no one can talk to us about dance and us not know anything about it, because we know about dance, we keep in touch with it, we look at stuff online, we watch people's videos, we check out things online, we've taken classes for years, we've trained. So we understand it and we love it. We know about it because we love it. So if you love something, learn about it from everything, so you don't ever get put into a corner going, oh, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You miss out on your win, because the winner's mindset starts before the competition does.
Yeah.
I love those.
That was a line. Did you hear that?
The last line.
Wait. Hold on. Reload.
What did I just
Reload. Glenn, sorry, do you want to drop that one in again, please?
Wait, how did I said the winner's mindset starts before the competition does.
Oh!
I'm getting that on a t-shirt.
And
I might have to nick that, you
You
know.
can have it. I'll be the brand ambassador.
that literally sounds like, I forgot to say, our Golden Buzzer performance, we had a soundbite at the start, and we say every champion once was a contender.
Love that.
Glenn don't remember it. Why is that?
I felt nervous. You know, every champion once was a contender and refused to give up.
Then we
Love
said
that.
we're back, Twist and Pulse, and we started. No one else in the show had a soundbite.
Yeah.
Soundbite.
But also, no one really commented on it. But the fact is, it's there because we already knew. We put it there so you knew. Like, we're contenders. We didn't get it up. We're backwards.
I love that.
We mean business.
Well, you did the business because you won and you toured, right? And you're still going strong now.
Crazy.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. This is, for me, been so insightful. There's things I haven't even known today. I think people listening to this are going to absolutely love the insight that you've given today. I think you've given some great advice, and there's loads that people can take home, including myself. So once again, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you as guest. Keep doing what you're doing. Guys, that was the crunch today from myself, Luke, and Twist and Pulse.
Peace out.
Later.
See you later. Bye.
I keep forgetting that.